even get enough
So,
revenue collection.
so if we look at the impact now of the coronavirus and stabilizing the economy as it is now, revenue generation don't drop and all. Now waiting on the economists and the advice at this time for be done for ensure say we stabilize the economy.
Just like what I rightly mentioned, they look at almost all other sectors. Sierra Leone in particular will not get a diversified economy. For the past 10 years, government
But
is
we don't
struggled.
focus on agriculture small back
Yeah,
for ensure say
yeah.
not to just a mining
Presently,
rubber
even
palm.
the tourism sector in greatly hits because we all know not only in Sierra Leone but even the world as a whole. You see suspension of air flights, and all know most of them tourists the way they come, then they go in from the hotels them. So they go, and their hotels, and they at the end of the night, people and they run them. If they find out a lot of people don't become unemployed because of this. Very recently, I listened to the managing director for the airport authority when he say over thousands of people have not lost their job because of this. And not only that, even at them hotels them, if they find out because of people they come out any longer from one place to the other, you understand, for going at them hotels and they at the end of the day, people who they employ, them people where they did in them various hotels, ranging from the receptionists, workers, and securities, then they drop because I'm not going able pay where I not get people them where they come at the hotels them as guests. So all of them things that they get great effect towards the economy. So what are some of the recommendations them? I believe the government only do them best because they take proactive actions for ensure that they put certain policies in place, just like what I mentioned earlier on, for put on in the area of the monetary policy and also the fiscal policy. However, the need for ensure also they not only put them in documentation, but they act on them, especially in the area of the money where they say where the Bank of Sierra Leone don't put. Let them ensure say that money they in going for the right purpose where they put them in for stimulate the economy, especially in the area of the SMEs.
Okay.
For the people able to get at the end of the day.
In name na Christopher Ajibu Kaloko, member of the Salone Association of Economists. They talk on the impact of the COVID-19 on the economy and self-putting government for ensure say they able put in place for help the economy grow again. We still get na the studio Nicholas A. Kamara in the CEO Vision Investments, lecturer from IPAM. They also talk about the impact of COVID-19 on SMEs. Mr. Kamara, we see recently we see debt relief from the IMF. Whose impact do you think say this gets on the SMEs locally?
When you look at that debt relief deal, you get so much positive impact into the SMEs. But the worry now what they see, because most often when you look at the history of that, the Ebola, when it came inside Salone during the 2014, most of the policies the way government enact and when they implement, they focus on more of the micro aspects. Forget about the huge chunk of that of SMEs operations. And it also don't happen recently. We are in this Bank of Sierra Leone where they put out a 500 billion euros for production and importation of goods. When you look at those thresholds and the conditions the way they put into this press release, you see say they not directly address SMEs. And some of you they always advocate for SME sustainability and growth, because most of the stories and histories where people don't look at in Africa and beyond, SME they serve as well as the livelihood and the blood for sustainability of every economy. So for instance, this 500 billion euros, when you look at the criteria when they list there, it is say there is no room for SMEs. Because they say somebody if you don't get over 10 years of experience of importation and any goods where the order, then they pay them directly to you the recipient of part of the loan, but rather to the supplier. And what about people where they go buy Conakry, where they go buy Liberia or nearest countries? Then they not get the acquittance of part of foreign transfers. So short money means they call on government that if they get any other plan or if any other alternative day, may they develop what a bottom top approach like what happened in Malaysia, what happened in Vietnamese, what happened in China. There is a special policy when they give to SMEs sustainability during this outbreak because the greater hit na the SMEs because the people that na tough courts, the people that will get shop na Abacha Street, the people that will get shop na Kambu Street, most of them then is striving in loans and overdrafts, and some of them they are suffering. They really don't have stress. So if you just go put 500 billion for importers of rice, already it's like I can always say it's way water and dogs in back. Because those people, their income and operations, they're always at, they're stable to an extent that, yes, then they feel them because of everybody gets hit all over the world, even the great US and UK, the whole hit. But short money, maybe if you don't look at what, how they do a tax rebate, yeah, rent allowances, like what my brother say for you, a tax holiday to SME owners. Because when you walk along Abacha Street now, you go Kambu Street, most of the shops are closed. And some people are running away from the banks because they get a liability of paying their loans every month and sell nothing. Okay? So the government's policies, what they don't do now for this 500 billion, yes, it's good, it's welcoming, but I call upon them for me to look at what, how they develop another strategy or another policy where they target the SMEs because they are the greater hit. Also, another area, we look at the EU. They say they donate over 60 million EU. When you look at the criterion again set, it says there is no room for SMEs. And most of we where the one SMEs are not much illiterate. You understand? People don't much get them policy understanding. They don't get much about what government administration.
But according to the Minister of Development and Planning, now the ministry will get on Monday, he say that package where they come, then now they work on them for ensure say everybody gets, because instances then may come up during the program for like farmers them for tap into that money, the NBC provision for the kind people in there.
Fine, very good. So when you look at this, they still look this Bank of Salone publication. When you look at this publication, 500 billion, there's no provision for that for even agro businesses. When I watch CNN, you look at England, they hire over 120 farmers from another country for can do emergency farming. But short money not even address agri businesses. And what they afraid now is the supply chain don't stock. Now we're not able to go get food from China because of the period of operations might not be okay. 3 months, 2 months lead time for get food from China to here. Pakistanis just get Ebola. Every time they get supply of rice or staple food where they import, all get at Ebola. So me they call upon government that instead of focus on that, more of giving what importation, why not what empowering farmers and the SMEs, not do what a local, we don't empower the local content concept. So they use the limited resources and produce what people will eat. So also they increase the livelihood of the people. My sister, majority when you go to banks now, yesterday I go call to business, I go to other microfinances. The credit collectors and don't have pressure because people in some man don't even left in us because for the past 2 months they be paying microfinance. Some man in shop don't lock. Some man even don't begin selling for.
So also that intervention and need for be taken now for ensure then cushion some of the effects and the way the SMEs then they go through currently.
Well, me mostly I can look at the model where Asian countries look because all they under the developing economy. You understand? Like Asia, like Malaysia, what do they do? Then do what you call a tax rebate. We'll talk about a tax rebate like a holiday. If somebody will pay 10 million euros per month. So what they do, they tell us, okay, this month not pay 10 million euros, we they do it in the deferment. We also do give at a rental. I mean, rental at rebate. That is the only way occupy premises of private owners. Government not get the total power for say not collect rental this year. But what happens? Government can come in that as a cushion effect for give a short soft loan to SME owners so that then go in and pay this the rent. Another policy response what say government for focus on. To look at what NASITs, because some of we will get small shop here with the pay NASIT. So government for give it in and call that holiday they wear for the next 2 or 3 months. They say okay, nobody not for pay NASIT for his staff or for yourself. So that them the possibility they run in SME, they will accumulate them for meet up at the current strength because of the external shock.
All right.
Okay. Nicholas A. Kamara, CEO Vision Investments, lecturer, IPAM, Entrepreneurship National Coordinator. They have to talk about the impact of COVID-19 on SMEs. We'll come back to you after this break.
Better don't come, better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salone Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all love but not alone. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala Freetown loan sa, we dey. And my lengthy one, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na Salone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program Good Morning Salone, they continue. Don't forget yourself for the listen the program can be part of send a message to 077-981-981 or go now with Radio Democrats 98.1 Facebook page. We they continue with the program and they look at small issues.
And we take one part with headline stories. Them we say the mayor for the Freetown City Council, our worship Yvonne Akisoya say, glad the way authority them from the Ministry of Lands beat some contractors them na City Council will command them usai in the bill one transfer site na Jomo Kenyatta Road after the authority the Ministry of Lands go broke this site here so last week. Kabia get more Iguna reports.
Part of the mayor in Transform Freetown plan na for say the city clean. We make it done they work with different development partner them. Forget structure them for achieve this. One pandem project here. Now the transfer site where defeat they support the Freetown City Council. For build na the Jomo Kenyatta Road na the western parts na Freetown. Where this structure according to the mayor. Na side usai council cleaner them go they collect dirty from people and go put and later council workman them go collect them dirty here. For go with them, na the bomb dumping sites. But just last week, this project be stopped. But this, according to the mayor, say the Minister of Lands been lead one delegation who side and go broke this place.
I don't expect we go get, the minister turn up on site with personnel. We proceed for physically assault, beat, kick, wound, workman them of a contractor of an international NGO. They were brutalized. Then take people, then phone, the contractor in phone seized, other workman in phone seized, then show me who that wound, who that then sharing close. In addition to breaking the walls, broke the pan, the brute force. One person say in bag, then take 700,000 yons, disappear in bag. I get first-hand testimony from the contractor and from the workman there. It was a scene of chaos. Things like that I find really disconcerting.
But this action from the Ministry of Lands, now one where the mayor say in surprise us.
This is a government situation. You say central government ministry get a concern with the local government, say not submit document. Well, I expect I could get a letter for saying, Mayor, una don't do this here, we not see the document. If there was a document, something as simple as a survey plan not being submitted, let me not go know everything. I believe safe a simple letter to the council for say, we see una don't the worker, we not see the survey plan. No. That was something that could have been responded to. But the ministry not engage the council and raise this issue.
But after this, I've been trying to talk to the Ministry of Lands, but they not be answer me. But later I've been pull one press release. Outside the press release say the mayor not get right for being na this place because he say na then na the Ministry of Lands get right for give anybody land na the country. The press release continues say the Ministry of Lands not aware about the structure where the Freetown City Council they put. But this the mayor been denied.
At no point no day we will just jump and begin to something without going through process and procedure. When it comes to the right of way is managed by SLRA, and we've been get a series of meetings with SLRA, way being convened by SLRA, their own supervising ministry with the Ministry of Works. So we've been meet with Ministry of Works, we meet with SLRA, the board chairman, the DG, technical staff, the Ministry of Lands we represented. There was a discussion about how rights of ways are used. There was a discussion about waiting up the planned use, and bearing in mind that this particular site, we did dig up documents for historic, right? But according to the one the council, this is not a site where in years gone by, na been council dirty box. And not to yesterday, Freetown City Council begin their land, 240,000 homes. And knowing the crisis where we get in waste management, na so that meeting conclude, say, well, let FCC go ahead. That was like 3 months ago. And from that 10-day, 90 work begin. Before we see this tear can happen. If you look at the property, you go see, say, on the front of the property, there's a signboard where it says UK Aid funded project with CRS and Freetown City Council. It was so easy for, say, engage the council. Things happen all the time. This is governance. One site plan for result in this kind of destruction, especially given, say, we not jump out of the blue. There was a process, there were meetings, there was an agreement.
After this incident, the mayor, our worship Yvonne Akisoya, say, then go continue with this project. Then later, then go meet with the Ministry of Lands, as in say, this project na for national development. For Radio Democracy, Kabiare reports.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue. We will continue to look at more issues inside the program. We said the president for the Salone Association of Journalists, LAJ, Ahmed Saeed Nasrallah, say because of the coronavirus we did in the country, the print media, win a newspaper, done they lost plenty couple. Ahmed Saeed Nasrallah talked this inside one interview with Radio Democracy, where he be they talk about the challenge them where the media they face during this coronavirus. He explained more to Kabia inside this interview.
Well, the media we don't play boku role. If you follow, really secure, begin spread across the globe. You find out even before you can Salonia, we don't be proactive and we don't try for establish a special committee we call this large coronavirus response committee. We own a committee who we set up for coordinate SLAJ in response to the fight against coronavirus and for also support the government of Sierra Leone in effort in combating the disease. Part of the responsibility also of this committee now for also interface with the Ministry of Health and with the Ministry of Information so that we'll get the correct information we will pass on to the public for letting also contribute to the fight and understand whether the coronavirus and what they need to do in terms of protect themselves and protect others. And so this committee we don't start for work. They don't start for work and they don't do several things. Them for part of the thing they will first do now for make sure we get a simulcast program because at that time it's will start not get any cases. So the effort mainly on prevention, not about prevent the disease for Canada Salone and they for do information they play a very key role and they will come in as professionals of the media for help the government and get the correct information from the experts and send out to the people them in a way they can understand and break them down for them so that they can understand them and also able to act on that information today. And also beyond that, we also take and say with the journalists and back for care about we own people and we own safety. So we send our frontline workers there.
So in there the way to do for journalists then.
What we do now for make sure say we try to guide them from the onset. And the Sierra Leone Reporters Union put out safety guidelines where they collate from WHO and other health authorities them. Then things put them put to the public for help journalists them for report on COVID-19 and put them down. And part of the safety tips that we then give for let you the journalists make sure say you protect yourself first. And now they mean say anything they do you go for observe the preventive measures them. You computer, your laptop, you mic, you camera, your tape recorder, make sure say you're not sharing with person. In the event that you share with person, make sure say you wash your hand if you share them and after you share them after you hold them back you wash your hand. But you make sure say you get disinfectant for do get a small towel where you go for wipe in the back after somebody else don't use them. And next safety tip in the end. And it's if you say if you go you will put your life in danger, we advise you say no good, come back and wait for the time we will be safe. Then beyond that, we also approach a Miller Group and the Chatham Hospital in the net we about 100 Veronica bucket them for media houses across the country who don't distribute. So far we don't distribute many of them. Who don't enough for helps also for the media houses that they get the hand washing facility, not the offices there so that anybody will come in and go out and also for the staff them they also get access for do what they're supposed to do.
Okay, President, apart from that, whose measure na don put to the media house owner them for letting us see journalists themselves able for protect themselves more in the area than they work for letting not be able for crowd na the office them.
Beyond that, we also be to go around and check the media houses there and see how they comply within the newsroom with the measures them and how they help protect their own staff them for them not get because apart from the journalists they also get other support staff they would inside. You get the secretaries them, you get the layout people them, you get the technical people them also then in the end for the radio and TV. And we also they watch TV TV programs, the main TV programs, and see how the TV they also they do in terms of ensuring that they conform to social distancing with the guests them and all things. And you find out now, say most of the TV houses then try for doing now virtual interviews with the person who live for Canada studio, we for call them, and they don't limit the number of guests they will get now. So then fine progress, and we hope they will continue for do that. And also for the radio stations back and the newspapers and the offices, then we also the monitor and encourage the media houses them and media owners them for make sure say they maintain the one in the and all things.
So whose impact is coronavirus when on Canada country when don't create in the area of the media, more especially the print media?
The COVID-19 it don't actually hit the media across the board, especially the print media, like you say. Economically, it's very devastating for the print media, if I can say. When you look at the challenges that we're in the face right now, first and foremost, the printing materials that we're in the use, the ink, the films, the plates, the foils, all the prices all don't go up. They don't go up even before the COVID came, but when the COVID came now, it don't even worse, and you don't find out back and you get scarcity of the materials there because normally I think they get them from Nigeria and then China and also neighboring Guinea. But with the borders they don't close and the flights they don't grounded, it's very difficult now for letting get new imports for coming. So it in short supply, and because of that also the price also they go up. So the cost of production for the newspapers then they go high. And the way you find out back say they don't get a drop in sales. I talked to the vendor this morning, then the government will say most of the offices they don't close, the paper they sell now. So you see, we don't bring down the distribution and circulation of the newspapers then very low. And also beyond that, the biggest impact I feel now in the area of advertising. Even before now, advertising was a challenge for the print media, but with the COVID now, we don't ground them to a halt because the biggest advertiser we'll get will be the help with Mercury International. And we find out because of the COVID, international games are not again. Games across the continent, all don't stop, all they on hold. If game not play, Mercury didn't make money. So it will affect the revenue generation of all the media houses. And then it filter down to the reporters there because if the media house don't make money, they don't get money for pay the reporters there and other support staff there because you also get secretaries there, you also get the layout people there, you also get other people there who they support the production people there. They all survive on where the newspaper they make money. If you know now, that's a big problem for them. And beyond that also, you find out say with the curfew with it now, newspapers are not able for work with the kind time when they can spend at the office now. It don't limit. Now the first time newspapers they get in our office then 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, then they get the production posse where they take the paper go to the production at the printing press for print, and early morning you get somebody else who take a camera na post office to the vendors there. And they all don't limit now. Now everybody they fed for work now within a short period of time, say from morning to 3 to 4 o'clock they don't done. And they find out say they miss out on most of the other things that will happen beyond 4 o'clock. They find out say the paper come out tomorrow. Most of the things that they report now, they don't already there on the social media. People don't know water. So then one big impact on the back where they affect the print media.
With all this way don't talk, still the print media themselves they help now the fight against the coronavirus. How they don't they survive some of the way don't they talk to?
In spite of all these challenges, in spite of all this trouble they get, the print media able to make space and time for also help in spreading the preventive and measures them to the public. Every newspaper we see most of the newspapers then every day get a poster who get preventive messages that they carry for people to understand. The readers they also will see and make sure they inform the young community people where they get. And also the newspaper they follow all the measures that the government they put in place and interrogate the measures then they and try to see whether they fit to the context, and they also they report on what's in their big updates, and also the quarantine places them then they go and investigate and find out what's in everything that people not right and bring account to the attention of the public and to the authorities them and then take action.
Well, in Ahmed Saeed Nasrallah, president for the Salone Association of Journalists, they talked to Kabia inside our interview. We say is a COVID-19 don't impact negatively on the newspaper sector of the media. The program na Good Morning Salone will come back after the short break.
They causing confusion.
But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country, when a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the sharp and building material store na the one whole country.
Alright, the program Good Morning Salone they continue, and we they continue for talk to the studio guests them as today we they look at the effects where the coronavirus they get on the country economy and self on SMEs them. But they come over to other studio guests where they talk about the effects where the coronavirus gets on the economy. Where na Christopher Hajibu Kaloko, Executive Director, Network for Development Sierra Leone. Earlier you be the talk about for review some of the policies and what the country right now if government really want for stabilize the country economy, and you be don't make mention of few of them where you be begin talk about the monetary policies them, the fiscal policy. Now let's look at the one we get to do with trade. Which part are the trade policies them where you think say government for review quickly at this time for let them go able for sustain the current economy where the country gets?
As they rightly mentioned, I pull a source from ILO, International Labour Organization, where they say 80.2% of the economic activities in Africa based on informal sector. And the informal sector it comprises of that businesswoman where they're gonna market, they do in daily business transaction, Okada rider, Poda driver, and also even that farmer, so forth and so on. Now you mentioned in the area of the trade sector. I believe say now the same Africa to Sierra Leone is almost the same. If the government's able mitigate, put certain policies in place, like for example, just like what I rightly mentioned, they're able to defer some taxes, you understand, towards the small, medium enterprise businesses, and they go a long way. Or also if they're able to liquidate the banks then, they strengthen them and they're able to reduce the interest rates, because most of the time people in the afraid for going in a bank because of the high interest rates. If they're able to reduce the interest rates, at the end of the day, that small businesswoman or that businessman where they do business transaction, they're able to go in a bank for good loan. At the end of the day, in business, no, they totally collapse. And also, they're able to give government able loan, and they go a long way. Even as they mentioned, my brother mentioned, I for say the 500 billion loans where government don't mention nothing related to SMEs, which of course I just be the good to now in true. They only focus, and also they don't even put certain proper mechanism in place for ensure say which sector more than the focus. Because if you just put that 500 billion loans, we want to know which sector where how much percentage they go in a particular sector. Because if you just put the money, you're not going for the intended purpose. At the end of the day, you're not going to tell well, even for stimulate the economy. And I believe say they do that day as a mitigating system for ensure say they will stimulate the economy at the end of the day. Even if the coronavirus get for end last say this month, and get the spillover effects where it will take in the next 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Just like with the IMF project. IMF say for this 2020, the global growth get for fall to about 0.5%. What means say even other countries then presently they struggle for ensure say they're able to stimulate the economy, because we don't know presently we not get no guarantee for say coronavirus will end this month, next month, or the other month. And even if you get for end in the next 2-3 months, and you forget that ripple effect they will get for affect in the next 6 months. So the government need for ensure say they put a well coordinated policies them in place. They enact them policies, they not only in terms of paper, so forth and so on, then say we don't do this, we don't do this. But let them policies that they implement them for ensure say they're able to stimulate the SMEs them and also other businesses them, which of course is very important.
Earlier when you talk about criteria for loan for review. Whose criteria for loan you think should exist before the COVID-19, where banks and other loan organizations then for pull now for ensure say businesses continue?
Let's say the interest rates. The interest rates is very important, and also access to the loans and they, you understand? Most of the time the banks then they give rigid criteria them where they lead most of the time the business people are not able to get access to the loan and they. And sometimes, due to some political reasons or whatsoever sorts, they find out most of the people want for going to certain loans and they know they will get access to them. Like if they're able, like what in Nigeria do, they put the interest rates from 15% to 9%. Where this coronavirus is, you understand? When they liquidate them bank, at the end of the day, people and they will go in for them thing and they. The same goes to Ghana and Uganda. Some of them things they not do. So if government will reduce the interest rates, you understand? When you don't liquidate the bank, then you reduce the interest rates so that the business people are able to get access to the loans them and they go a long way. And they're also able for at least make some of them criteria that they become a little bit ease towards people in the area of guarantor, so forth and so on.
All right, continue for the between at the studio. We'll come back to you, Christopher. Come to other studio guests now, Wayne and Nicholas. You did talk on issues we get to do with SMEs and how the coronavirus they affect the SMEs here. Yes, you don't suggest with them of how governments can come in and intervene so that the interventions and they go able for cushion the effects of the coronavirus on them businesses. But the small and medium enterprises themselves, waiting then on their own need for the do, especially now where sales not going to be compared to how normal times can sound like. Waiting themselves need for the do at this time.
Based on the research we are engaging in knowledge in managing SMEs, one of the advice I get for share with people in today, yes, sales don't fall due to the COVID-19. One, SME owners get for engage to key staffs and employees for me then look at a pay cuts. For instance, if you get 2-3 staff in a shop, you know you will pay them when month done. What you go do yourself, you just lay them up, someone gonna host. You can engage with them without they take 50%. Okay, now we all know it in the engage them and open communication so more that make them understand and see the reality. So without which you can take about a 50% pay cut. So that you're not going to say, oh man, gonna host. Because the aftermath of that, of the COVID-19, when you continue to send key staff in your shop, you send them home, then when we recover now, how you go to get them, reliable staff them back. So one of the advice is maintain the staff them by engaging them, by giving them at a 50% or what you make an offer. Say now we need to make money, but without which for can work, I go to provide that an incentive for transport or food. When one done, what you get at the Shiba. Then two, another strategy is you get for engage with suppliers, domestic suppliers when they revamp their value chain, because most of those people already do to fashion, boutique, and they listen to slash president. It's even it's about even paper and other things when they use as print media, not even they are available. So short management are waiting for do. Then go for look within and see how they able do an outsourcing for able to produce and which respond to the market. So SME owners for look at what suppliers within Sierra Leone and for respond to their own daily supplies. Also within SME owners for do. The only way don't take loan at the banks. Instead of them lock their shop and run away or change their address and this, make them face the bank, then go explain, because even the banks even the owners of the banks and know say there is a crisis. For which you don't need for hide, you don't need for run away or you change the address. You understand? Go to the bank and explain. Make them go to see presence or call them. Whenever they call you, respond to them because they know about what the crisis. You understand? You go engage them. So okay, I might not be able to pay this end of March, April. I might not be able to pay end of May. But what? As long as I get the money and they can pay. Another advice I give SME owners. You understand? The NACIT payment. Some of us get what NACIT subscriptions. Instead of that, is Dutch or not going to write to NACIT and this, go you write a letter formally to NACIT that they say gets awareness of that of the outbreak. Write a formal letter to NACIT for what suspension of out of operations. So that for yourself in NACIT go to accumulate after the 3 months or 6 months they go and they say power pass you go for pay NACIT before we give a tax class, they want go bid, you want for recover. Then what you go do, write that formal address, formal letter to NACIT, not only to NACIT, also to NRA, to future city councils. That's why in summary I can give a conclusion to what me recommend to government and other SME agencies. Because get agencies where they really govern it. But I don't know how much they don't do an intervention for penetrate Bank of Sierra Leone. So much that with the SME owners and people who really manage small and medium enterprise, they make up 80% of Sierra Leoneans where they run business and where they support the economy, so that we will get from this national account going to the 500 billion.
Okay, they make example of how for ensure the government come inside and make SMEs then begin run. And the example be taken from England, Australia, America. You think say then solutions them from them countries then they go able fit Salone situation?
Well, I read the book by Professor Michigan. He say public policy not to medicine. He say not to medicine way in the prescribe for every nation for say the fitting, but we can borrow and modify. Look like where World Bank they praise and high Tanzania now. Yeah, they say that the only African country where deviates a little bit from not locking down 21 days for 15 days or 14 days. Now it's not hidden. So when you look at the constraints where they go now, I feel say we can borrow the oil link format from what is happening in the US, UK, and Italy. Then we modify and look at what with status. That's why resource mobilization are the key of that. For not get a think tank there now for see how they manage what to get and how they fight against this COVID-19. For instance, now when like this 14 days lockdown, you see so many slash all rights, lawyers are all right, even the medical they're all right. But you look at the government constraints. Before the outbreak, when you say most of SME operations they survive on that on loans and overdraft. So if you just can't close them 14 days for go to your house, they will not get that money like what happened in England for go put out how many billion pounds, what happened in America for go put this. So what you go do now? That government for look at what we own policies, we get what a quick fix policies. Whether a makeshift man, for instance, we say a crisis, for instance, if in a free turn the Tido wasn't, they lock free turn in what by sections. Like what happened in Tanzania. If now the north the Tido pass mark, they lock a certain section and quarantine and then do more contract tracing and this instead of just copy and what and paste. So these are the dynamics. That's why I want to do a press-to analysis. Press-to analysis for every environment, every context, get your own different applications. So you cannot just borrow from what happened in England, what happened in America, and say, Lord, go 14 days. No, it's challenging. So SME operations need to look at their own resources and see how they respond.
Continue for the between at the studio, Nicholas A. Camara, CEO for Vision Investment. We'll come back to you, the program Good Morning Salone. They continue with a look at other issues at the program. Also, the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu-Safa, say government don't agree for ad pan well body workman and salary from this April as part of them measure them for the COVID-19. Well, Jacob Jusu-Safa talked this inside one meeting with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health and Sanitation all with well body workman them for sign one package where government them puts together for well body workman them as part of them measures them pan this fet. Musa S. Camara gets more and go report.
Inside 2018, this
Alright, the program Good Morning Salone continues. Send a message to 077 981 981 and add your voice to them where we talk about the program this morning. You can also go now with Ready Democracy Facebook page. Let we listen to the reports now where Musa S. Camara puts together from the Ministry of Finance.
Week. Well, body workman them don't they engage with government for improve on the condition of service. With this, according to the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu-Safa, government don't agree on some of the recommendation them where well body workman them make to them as way for improve on the condition of service. Where one of them now for CC, well body workman them no pay PAYE tax. This, according to the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu-Safa, government could add pan their salary so that they go able for pay tax.
What government has offered is that all healthcare workers shall be provided with a cash risk allowance in lieu of their PAYE tax deductions for a period of 3 months commencing 1st April 2020, subject to review as may be necessary. Whatever you are paying as PAYE will be given to you as compensation. So if a medical doctor or a nurse is paying 500,000, we will pay you back the 500,000 physical cash so that you are left at the same level.
Jacob Jusu-Safa continue for talk about some of the facility them where one of them now for CC government responsible for the book learning of 3 picking them of any well body workman with hype and the COVID-19 fates.
They also requested a life insurance policy payment to the next of kin of any healthcare worker that loses his or her life in the fight against COVID. A life insurance. We've accepted that. Discussions are going on now with the NIC to operationalize that. In addition to that, government shall provide free tuition and other forms of education and support for a maximum of 3 children up to 1st degree level. Any health worker who loses his or her life in the discharge of their duties in combating and treatment of persons infected with COVID-19. They never asked for it. We decided to put that as a package. A COVID allowance of 1 million weekly to those health workers working in treatment and isolation centers. That is covered, fully honored. No negotiation on that. 98 to 99% 100% of what they requested we've done, and we've even added something. So it's like effectively over 105% of the demand has been met. And that, even government spending for the next 3 months went up astronomically from something like 28 billion to 38 billion. If you have to implement this package, minus the insurance, minus the education and support for that.
Professor Alpha Tiwuri, now the Minister of Health and Sanitation, these agreements them according to RAM. Now one way they agree with the different sector of the well body will command them.
And during the discussions yesterday, it was heightened that there must be a direct possibility of payment for schools or college if somebody would have a demise of anybody during the fight against COVID. We have now condensed the various grades of cash compensation into one package. The insurance is the same for everybody, which the number you get will depend upon the number of years you've spent, your age, and things like that.
But waiting well body will command them make up of this.
Elizabeth Lemo, the President of the Nurses Association. Well, now this position we also done yesterday and agree. And before that, we as an association, we don't come together, we don't discuss. And we go to the minister and make with conditions in that this one. And apparently, all which we ask for, government give it, so I make we sign.
Musa Binda Silas, the National Chairman for Sierra Leone Association of Community Health Officers. Well, a very good move, or a very good start by the government and the Ministry of Health. But even sit and think about the welfare of the staff and when they go for work and put things in place in case anything happen. And a very good thing.
Alhaji Murtada Sise, President Pharmaceutical Society of Sierra Leone. Very clear to me, say, government really, they do everything possible for let this sick come out now. Otherwise, at very short notice, they don't even accept almost 90% of the demands them. So we're very committed to going forward as a society for pharmacists.
Even though Jacob Jesus Safa say all the sector of the well body will command them, like the Dental and Medical Association, Pharmacists, Nurses Association and other one them be agree upon their recommendation they are so, but the Medical and Dental Association not been show up for sign for this agreement and self according to them, not been tell them why they not come.
We agreed on a meeting at 2 o'clock to come and sign this MOU. Strangely enough, we've been making series of calls from this 1:30. Dr. Will has been calling severally, no response from them. We don't know they are not here. Nobody could tell us what their problems are. Even if they had the concern, why would have expected them to come? That we don't want to sign because of ABC. But it's not strange to the conduct of the medical doctors. I'm going to say it. It's not the first time they've done it. In as much as we need them most. But I really believe they need to demonstrate more sense of patriotism.
Oris Yandemo, now the Secretary General for the Salone Nurses Association, say if government go into any special arrangement with the Medical and Dental Association, then self as nurse them go pull hand pan the fight against COVID-19.
I'm the Secretary General for the Salone Nurses Association. I'm saying this. The doctors always come when they say signing of signature, they don't sign the boycott. They will come back again and they give them a different agreement, a different package, more higher than the other healthcare workers. But we are saying this in the part of from the part of the nurses and the other health workers. They are the pharmacists, the lab technicians, and also the community health officers. If they come here, you give them a different package. Trust me, we will tell our workers. And we are going to do a different thing that we know the country will not be happy for us, but definitely we could have. Because if we put all the forces together, the pharmacists, the lab, the nurses, I can say we are almost 90% of the workforce. Let's put it plain. The doctors are taking maybe 10% maximum. And if you look at what we are having presently in the ETU, 6 doctors to 36 nurses to how many CHOs? Mind you, we the nurses were in there with the patient 247. And for the COVID response presently, the doctors have nothing much to do. Because if you go to intubation, the anesthetists are there, who is not anesthetic doing it, not the doctor going there. We are the one going into the ETU 247. Some of them don't even go into this ETU. We have faced such situations. So please let it be clear here. And I'll be happy, I know it will not be written here, but let it be on record that we are all taking note of this for tomorrow. In case it happened that way, we will not agree at all.
As the Pharmacists, Nurses Association and other well-body organizations them say them gladly for the support where government don't give them. This make them be assure government of them full commitment inside the fight against COVID-19. So to the term, where are they put these reports together? No comments not been come out from the Dental and Medical Association as to why they not go to the Ministry of Finance for sign to them package where government don't give to well-body will command them. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
The program Good Morning Salone, they continue, and you say for the listen, don't send a message to 0779819821 official line, and also now we Radio Democracy Facebook page. We they continue with the program now, and they look at the message and we don't send the very first one they look at from Facebook. Fomba why they say the COVID-19 pandemic is an opportunity for government to engage the military agricultural unit for massive production of rice. $5 million can buy 25 new tractors with combined harvesters to engage in massive rice production. The military agriculture unit can integrate smallholder farmers into the program as outgrowers and provide all mechanical facilities to them. Ministry of Agriculture can provide all extension services to the program using resources from the Ministry of Agriculture budget. Ministry of Local Government can engage districts and chiefdoms in community-supported agriculture for continued access to local food.
This one say what should be done to strengthen or improve the SMEs after the COVID-19.
Alright, to look at more messages one I don't send this other post, they say Mr. Kamara's analysis is very good. I hope government and the SMEs will work on his advice. It comes from Kalamuna Passival Street.
This one say what are the criteria set for one to qualify for SMEs?
Alright, look at more message and I don't send at the program. This other one say good morning, Radio Democracy. Can the economists please advise the government on what to do as immediate measures, not long-term measures that could stabilize the country's economy?
This one say the support from government. I hope the healthcare workers can come on board fully and support government in the fight against COVID-19. That's not the last one from me for now.
Alright, Mustafa Moijen on Facebook say Sierra Leone's economy is currently in recession. The idea of lockdown will hit the economy more, which to extend and will lead to depression since the economy depends on day-by-day activities and donor funding. But my advice is to introduce another measure rather than lockdown. Alright, so look at more messages. This other one again from Fomba Y is say, what parameter is Ajibo using to ask government to defer taxes for 6 months? On what basis is he making assumptions? Ajibo, please don't compare America to Sierra Leone in any economic analysis and assumptions. Sierra Leone's economy is very complex and dynamic, and it's constantly changing, which makes it very difficult to use conventional economics models to do sound economic and developmental decisions like the US or developed economies. This other one we go look at for the Bundu, they say banks should suspend all loans for small businesses to rescue them from the COVID-19 pandemic. Alright, from their message and day, we come over to the studio, get them back, and I go start with Christopher, where they talk about the impact of the effects where the coronavirus gets to the country economy.
Yeah, first of all, the first one say what we for do at this point in time. Just like I rightly mentioned, and I give some few recommendations, will be for say the government don't do very well in certain areas. We all know before the coronavirus, the economy itself, this not so secret, will be there at the economy be there at its best ebb, wherein most of the sectors don't really go well as we expect them to go. Now, what do we expect as citizens for the governments do? Therefore, the central bank for lower the interest rates, and also see how best then go give more liquidity towards the commercial banks, so that the commercial banks for able help and loan the businesses, which of course is very important, and in the area of the monetary policy. And also in the area of the fiscal policy, I believe, say, just like what I rightly mentioned, I still hold on the farm fact, say, let the government see how best they go able to defer some taxes, especially towards the SMEs. Consider the fact, say, the economic activities where Sierra Leone they undertake presently, and based on the informal sector, and the informal sector they go a long way. So if the government able help the informal sector, they go a long way also at the end of the day. and make also the money where them put that 500 billion leons, making go for the right purpose. Let them put certain proper monitoring policies in place for ensure say that money they're going for the right purpose, and make the public know waiting some of the measures that we them put for get access to that particular loan.
One part of Texas and send message they ask that this not time where governments for involve the military for ensure say the agricultural sector of them try for do something where go ensure say they help for support the economy.
Well,
you think say this na a right path for go?
Definitely, because the agricultural sector they contribute greatly towards the national GDP of this country. So if governments see how best they go able boost in the area of agricultural sector, then they also they help. But it depends on the persistence of it. Because most of the time when they see government, they talk about the agricultural sector, but waiting on some of the necessary measures them wouldn't they really put in place for ensure at the end of the day you're able to yield a better dividend. That's also the question.
Alright, continue for the in the studio.
Okay, we come to you, Nicholas Kamara. Make you respond to text message. Then we can regarding you.
All right, a quick one on this. Somebody is saying the text where they compare for the agricultural units for the military. That's a very good input. But we look at that in a long-term investment. A quick fix now, not go be feed forward for my government go put some money do all now for my so German go na bush for go to on farmers there because it go take 6 or a minimum of 3 months before they able heal those rights. So I think that one enough for long-term policy. Another Texas sense, waiting SMEs and go do now for men strengthening the Salone. During this COVID-19, develop a whole model when I see from the Asians and Chinese philosophy. One of the things where they for do, people for diversify their operations. If they do it, clothing and textiles, and now people need very close, someone defend in daily and months. So what will happen? They diversify. They go to see people away on three black sisters. You see so many people away that be designers. Them they introduce this local marks. They go to you put on so. So people SME owners for diversify. Look at the quick way of getting at businesses. Okay, another way how SMEs are able to do for strengthening themselves and for them able to survive during this COVID-19, men engaging at innovation. Innovation, not say you are starting the business because Adam Smith says business changes or business model keep on changes as and when customer demands change. So as an SME owner, not for be static say because now this is me for and I there for day. And we will not know when this COVID-19 is done. Although we only payment not past 2 months within its physical policies or government policies on what on this lockdown, intercity restrictions, suspension of what, all this coffee. So SMEs are able to operate in that wider context. So I will able to survive within this thing. So you go for create some innovative ways. I do fit another way of strengthening what SMEs again during this COVID-19.
They are saying after COVID-19, what for strengthen the SMEs?
Yes.
That's what the text is.
So now one of the things how they able to strengthen supply management. You engage with the suppliers, you engage with people if you say they get similar thing the way they do, then when I create something, look like the marks. Look, when I listened to BBC last night, they say marks and shorting in an advanced country. How much COVID 2020? I remember one part of me a future.
Okay. COVID-19 inside the program Good Morning Salone.
Alright,